And hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live trading workshop. It is August 6th. Another day of summer trading will be ahead of us. It's 9:30 a.m. in the morning here. The markets just opened. And I am greeting you from our beautiful office here in Montreal for the last time for the next 2 weeks as I'm heading out to Germany later on tonight. Yeah, excited to see the folks at home. But before we get into it today, let me ask you, where are you guys calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who do we have? So let me just put this window here. There we go. David aus Frankfurt. Hey, David, how's it going? Edda from Hamburg. Hi, Edda. Good to see you again. Back to back since yesterday. Who else do we have? We have KJ from California. Hey, KJ, how's it going? Sasa from London. I guess that's London, UK, not London, Ontario. Aubrey from coolish, breezy Cyprus. Okay, that's nice. Ron from Utah. Tim from Mallorca. Nice. From the Ballermann, Tim. Chris from Northern California. Ali from Montreal. Hey, Ali, good to see somebody from Montreal today. That's awesome. That doesn't happen too often. That's awesome. William from West Palm Beach. Or Bill from West Palm Beach. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys, for sharing your location. Another busy day today. Ahead of us. Lots of things that can be traded. We already did a bit of a preview, Nicholas and I, before we start this live trading workshop, and there are indeed some interesting setups to be considered today. All right, but before we get into it, a couple of other comments here. Tim says, no, not from the Ballermann. Okay, all right. And John is greeting from London, Ontario. Is this the same John as before? So I believe we do have somebody from London, Ontario, and somebody from London, UK today. That's awesome. Okay, so before we get started, a quick reminder that trading does contain substantial risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so a quick introduction for those of you who are joining us for the very first time. I'm going to keep this really brief of who we are. So we are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel here on the left-hand side, and together with Home and Nicholas, we have built up trading indicators over the last 10 years, and we specialize really in the development of innovative trading indicators, most of which are based on what's called technical analysis. And our mantra is to simplify trading, not to make it more complicated. And one way that we like to simplify trading is to rely heavily on indicators, which can show you stuff on the chart, which you may not be able to see with the naked eye. Having this said, please make this live trading workshop your own. If you have questions, please put your questions into the Q&A box, and then let's get started. A couple of ground rules. Today's focus will be on day trading of futures, primarily futures. Maybe we're going to look at some stocks, but it's going to be primarily in the futures space, and it's for day trading. However, the technical analysis that we're going to be using today, and also the setups that we'll be focusing on today, these can be universally applied. So if you're a swing trader or if you're trading other instruments, these should apply equally. Also, we will be using TradingView today, just because it's the greatest common denominator. We like many platforms. TradingView is one of our favorite platforms, but not the only one. We also trade a lot with NinjaTrader or Wave, and sometimes Thinkorswim. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. Why we're using TradingView today, because most of you have at least seen or maybe even used TradingView before. Even in its free, TradingView also has a free version, which helps too. So it's just a very well-known platform. This is why we are using TradingView today. It's a live trading workshop. As such, just for illustrative purposes, we may sometimes force a trade, meaning, of course, we want to take trades today. We don't want to stay on the sidelines the entire day. As such, we may be forced to open some trades just for illustrative purposes, because we don't have all day to wait around for the perfect setup. And of course, the session is also time bound. We may close trades also prematurely. Just keep this in mind. Is every trade going to be a winner? I hope so, since we're using a live money account, so nobody likes to lose money. We are no exceptions for this. Can we guarantee this? Of course not. There's no such strategy. If somebody promises you a 100% success strategy. He's lying to you. This is simply not possible. Trading is very much a numbers game, and you want to have an edge over the market in the long haul. All right. Having this said, of course, we will do everything in our power to increase our odds. So we're going to use our flagship indicators to find interesting setups. We're going to make sure that we are not over leveraged, basically taking the same trade across two different symbols. Our TI pairs indicator will come in for this. We're going to look at support and resistance. We're going to look at trend and momentum. And we're going to look at other time frames and so forth and so forth. And we will also try to avoid major market events. Now, how can we do this? Well, this is fairly easy. In TradingView, let's start with this one first. Let's have a quick look of what is potentially coming up in terms of market events. So I'm going to go to TradingView here. I'm going to get to this TI pairs matrix in a second. And let's open up the calendar. It's the icon right here. And if we look at it, today is Wednesday, and I have my filter on for only showing major market events, this one here. And we can see that in terms of major market events, nothing is happening until later on today. If you look at the minor events, if I disable this filter, we can see today is Wednesday. What time is it now? It's 9:30. We do have a couple of oil-related news at 10:30. I think it was the same case last time as well, Nicholas, wasn't it? That we had some oil stuff going on. So we're going to keep an eye on this, oil and gasoline, so natural gas and all kinds of oil-related news at 10:30. And then we have some minor stuff at 11:30, but we might be already closed out by then. All right, so 10:30, oil and natural gas, something to keep an eye on. All right, so let me quickly go back to my slides. There we go. So nothing really major happening today. Nonetheless, we're going to stay aware, at least keep an eye on what's happening with oil and natural gas at 10:30. Okay, so what's going to be our process today? And, I don't want to go through all the steps over again. You may have seen them already in previous presentations. But in a nutshell, what we're going to do is we're going to try to understand what is the current story of the market. How do we get where we are right now? What was the path that we ended up where price is right now? Why is this important? Well, it will help us to predict what the next chapter will be all about. Of course, in trading, it is a little bit about forecasting the future, which, of course, is inherently difficult. But this is why many traders actually fail, because forecasting the future is not easy, and oftentimes you will be wrong. Hopefully, more times you will be right, and we're going to use our indicators to help us with this. So we're going to focus what the next chapter may be all about. And if you want to see extra confirmation, we're going to use some of our signal indicators to actually wait for an entry signal to happen, which coincides or actually which confirms the next chapter forecast. All right, so indicators will do the heavy lifting. And when it comes to understanding the market story, our key flagship indicators are, first of all, what is the trend? So how did we end up where we are right now? Did we end up there because we went up in a bullish trend or perhaps in a bearish trend? And we're going to use our MA rush indicator for this. So that's number one. Number two is where are key levels? Where are key support and resistance levels? And if you're wondering, by the way, why I just looked over to the left-hand side, I had a trade open, which I just closed in profit. Yeah, I just opened it right before the session started. I'm going to show you the setup in a second. Great soybeans trade. We're going to get to this in a bit. I think it's we're going to have a second chance there anyways. So what are key levels? Where are key resistance and support levels? Why is this important? Because price is reacting very, very often to these levels in a certain way. So if price approaches resistance, for example, ideally combined with what we call a liquidity capture event, then we can anticipate a bounce of this level to lower price levels, similar to when price approaches support. We may see a bounce, or of course, eventually these levels are broken, then we can play a breakout trade in the direction of the breakout. So being aware of where these levels are in relation to current price is going to be absolutely crucial. So that's indicator number two. Indicator number two is where is the action? Where is the most volume traded? We're going to use our volume IQ indicator for this, which is always displayed on the right-hand side of the chart. And it will show us where are high volume nodes, like these things that really stick out, like up here and down here, and where are low volume nodes. And this is important to know because price often slows down in these high volume areas, and it speeds up or accelerates in these low volume areas. So this is one takeaway from these from the volume profile. Oftentimes, also these high volume nodes, they act as support or resistance, depending on from which direction price approaches this level. And we can see by this this rectangle on the right-hand side, is there a bias towards sellers or sellers, the reddish area, or buyers in a certain price region? So all this will come from our volume IQ indicator. And then fourthly, I should say, we are going to use our brand new TI pairs indicator to understand what are other symbols doing. Is there perhaps a better, cleaner setup on a very correlated symbol? That could be one takeaway there. Or if we are already in a trade, is this symbol in which we already have a trade open correlated to another pair that we potentially are considering for a trade? And oftentimes we don't want to take that second trade because we would over leverage ourselves. We basically take the same trade, the same setup, the same idea across different symbols, which are very correlated. So this will increase our risk, something we don't want to do in trading. All right. Now, without further ado, let's get to the markets. I'm going to switch over to the markets. And let me just quickly see if there are any questions that came in so far. No questions so far. So let's go to Trading View. And the first thing I'm going to show you is, where did it go? There we go, is how I set up my charts. I'm going to walk through it slowly, step by step. So I'm going to start here on the left-hand side. Of course, we are going to try to find interesting setups in the future space. So what I've done, in fact, is I have created a little watch list here on the right-hand side. So I have my indice futures, my metals, and it's not exhaustive. There are more futures available, but these are the ones I typically focus on. So index futures up here, metals, commodities like oil, natural gas, but also soybeans and corn, and then our currency futures, including cryptos. Okay, and then what we have also here is we have our overview charts. So don't be alarmed. This may look very complicated, but it's actually not. So this 4-chart layout here is meant to give us an interesting overview of what's going on. And my heart is bleeding a little bit because we discussed, Nicholas and I, just before we went into this session here a couple of minutes ago. Hey, the Dow looks like a short entry here. We went bearish and we hit resistance here, but this move has passed now. That would have been a great opportunity to short here, which would have worked out. But this is exactly what we're trying to see here on this overview chart. Where is price right now in relation to support and resistance? Where are key high volume nodes and what is trend doing? So you can see all this on these overview charts. So here for the index futures, we have NASDAQ, micro NASDAQ, micro S&P, micro Dow, and micro Russell. On the, wrong watch list actually. On the commodity space here, we have, just go this way. We have gold, top left corner. We have silver here. Oh, Nicholas, look at this one too. What a bounce off silver.
Yeah, and with the indices, how's gold doing? Is it going up?
Gold is down a little bit.
With the indices going down, though, like Dow, I wonder if silver's gonna make a try again back upwards.
Yeah. You may not believe us. We also discussed silver as a potential short because it was approaching in a bearish trend this key resistance level up here, but also this move is past now. No big deal. Then we have copper here, and we have platinum down here in the metal space. And for the commodities, just to give you a quick overview, what else do we have? We have crude oil up here, top left corner. We have micro natural gas, the Widowmaker. I have a very, very much a love-hate relationship to this symbol. We have corn futures here, and one symbol I really like this morning, this is actually the trade I just closed here, is soybeans futures. I'm going to focus on soybeans first because I really like the setup. So let me quickly, before it goes away, focus on this particular one to explain to you what's going on with soybean futures. So I'm going to go to my full screen mode here, and I'm going to open soybeans futures ZS. Probably a symbol that many of you have not traded yet, but I'm going to bring it to your attention because I like soybeans as also corn because they move very slowly oftentimes and they respect technical levels very nicely, especially in a situation like this. Look at this. Price approach, this is resistance here, a key resistance level coinciding with a high volume node of volume IQ. And we had a liquidity capture up there, almost to the dot, and bounced off. This morning, we opened around here. Actually, this is a trade I just closed out on my prop trading account. We went up here to this resistance level, coinciding with a key volume node, and I shorted it and closed out this trade as it came down. So I'm going to wait here for corn futures for prices to come up one more time to this level. And if it does, and if If it does, I may reshort this trade once again if we come up one more time to the sell. So I'm going to set myself an alert around this price level here. If price gets to this level, we may consider shorting it because lots of things are coming together. Soybeans are very bearish. You may not see it here, but if I zoom out a little bit more, you can see where prices are coming down from. It's a bearish symbol. Even though we had a little bit of a short-term bullish pullback here, it is definitely bearish. So this is my sentiment here. On the lower time frame, prices are coming, if they're coming up back to this broken resistance level, this is not broken, this resistance level coinciding with this high volume node of volume IQ, I think this could be a really interesting short trade. So we set our alert here. Let's see what's happening with soybeans. Meanwhile, let me go back to my overview chart. Okay, so this was soybeans. Here we're gonna wait, and this move is happening. I should have reacted fast. It could have been a nice trade to the get-go. Prices are losing it right now to the downside. Maybe we're gonna get back up again. We'll see if that's a possibility. Okay, so now in the currency space, I'm not sure why my watch list changed. In the currency space, we have on the top left corner, we have the Euro futures. Euro's really taken off. It just went above resistance here. If we see a pullback back to resistance, maybe another interesting long trade idea. Then we have pound futures here, British pound futures, a bit messy all over the place. Bitcoin is not doing anything, just chilling out around this. You can see it here, zone of control. Zone of control is named zone of control for a reason because prices tend to chill out in these areas. Lots of liquidity is happening there, and prices oftentimes get stuck in these price levels. This is why we also call these zone of controls as price decelerators, because price really slows down in these high volume nodes. Whereas when it comes to a low volume node, it may speed up and accelerate. So this is one takeaway. And here down here we have micro ether. All right. So with this, let's go back to our overview chart and stuff, the indices, and look at some of these a bit more in detail. All right. So let's see if there's anything of interest in here to be seen. For the most part, actually all of them. And these are often correlated. And actually, we're going to look at the correlation matrix in a second. So we have Nasdaq down up here, top left corner, S&P top right corner, micro down, bottom left, and micro Russell bottom right. Each symbol pretty much is in the exact same space, near the zone of control, this high volume of volume IQ. Yeah. And in the middle, in between support down here and resistance up here. We call it the magnet zone. So pretty much the exact same setup across the board. Not my favorite setup because it's kind of a coin toss if we are stuck right in the middle between support and resistance. I very much prefer it if prices are either near resistance or near support down here. If we're in the middle, it's everybody's guess where prices will go next. And oftentimes what I like to do here is I like the market decide where it wants to go. So we're going to wait patiently here to see if the market is making a decision to one way or the other. Nicholas, would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I was thinking, I really want to see what happens on NQ and ES here because they're both trying to lift off from that high volume node.
Yeah.
But I noticed there on Dow and Russell, though they did drop down, they are still kind of in the testing point of that other really high volume node. Like they both are right there. And I'm wondering what's the correlation between
Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a good point.
And let's say NQ and Dow.
That's okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks for the segue, Nicholas. So now we're going to look at our brand new indicator, in fact, called TI pairs, to look at, hey, how are these signals related? Are they currently trading in tandem or perhaps against each other? Or what's going on there? So I'm going to go to the very last tab here. It says MGC on top, but don't be fooled by this. It's basically just our correlation matrix here. And the way I set this up is in fact, let me spend maybe 2 minutes on this part. This is our brand new indicator called TI pairs. And we do have a special offer for this, by the way. In case you're interested in this, I'm going to show a slide in just a bit. So TI pairs, here I programmed it, or customized it, I should say, with the main futures that I like to consider. We have MNQ, MES, Dow, Russell, gold, silver, oil, natural gas, corn, and soybeans. And then here down we have the exact same symbols, but on the y-axis. And the way this works is we can actually look here. Okay, let's see. We want to see if there's a relationship right now between NASDAQ, MNQ, and S&P 500 futures. How would this work? Well, we will look at, for now, we only will look at the lower triangle of this matrix, meaning like everything that's below this diagonal, like all in this space here. That's what we want to consider to see if there's a correlation. So let me basically just find the pair which matches up. So MES, micro S&P 500, and MNQ here. And we can see three values in here. A value of 3 means it's completely not correlated. Everything near 0. And this scale, by the way, goes from plus 100 to minus 100. And you can see some extremes here, like minus 83, for example, or 66 is high, 83, 88. These are high numbers. 5, it's a very low number. It's very close to 0. What we see here is, if you contrast right now, and this is kind of surprising, MES and MNQ, we can see on the long term, the second number here, and you can see up here, ST/LT, short term / long term. In the long term, they are positively correlated at a value of 67. So that's pretty correlated. Again, it goes up to 100, but that's fairly correlated. On the short term, however, we have a value of 5, which basically means it's not correlated at all. And to me, that's a bit surprising because oftentimes they are very much in sync, and the low value like this, shows something shook that synchronicity between these two symbols. And one way to think of it is, hey, this is just a temporary, situation where MES and MNQ are out of sync, and we may expect that, hey, they're going to be syncing up again. Now the question, of course, is how could we trade this? For this, let's go back one more time to see how price action actually is going. What price action is doing right now for these two particular symbols, giving the fact here that we have a non-correlated state on the shorter time frame, which is the 15-minute in this case, and mainly directly correlate on the longer time frame.
And we can see also that MNQ tends to lead MES.
Yeah, we're gonna get this also. Get to this in a second. It's this symbol here. We're gonna get there in a bit. So let's look at our chart here. And we have MNQ up here, left, and MES right here. Okay, so what do we see? We see, for example, yeah, if you go a little bit, I mean, to some degree, Niklas, would you agree with me? It kind of looks still similar, but in terms of correlation and price moves, there are some differences here. But definitely, MNQ is already leading the pack here. It bounced off this zone of control and starts trading higher, whereas MES, is still kind of stuck in this level, I would think.
Yeah, because the correlation matrix, I'm not sure. Did you have it on the 5-minute or the 15-minute?
15-minute.
But MNQ is clearly breaking the highs of the last 12-hour period.
Yes,
MES is nowhere near that. It's in a downtrend, respectively.
Yes,
comparatively.
Absolutely. I was just about to say this. Look what happened here. If I draw a little, let me just use my brush here, a highlighter maybe. Look at this. So ugly. This is. I need to get a better pen for drawing these things. Can I delete this? Delete drawings. Move one drawing. Okay, let me just take a better pen here. Arrow marker here. No. Okay, one more time. Brush. Here, whatever. But we do have this high here, which was taken out right now by MNQ. MES, and you're absolutely right, Niklas, is nowhere near taking out this high here, which we had around 4 a.m.
Might be a good long on that notice.
Absolutely. I was just thinking about this. This is one way how you could play this. So if we anticipate, okay, MES is going to play catch up to MNQ, we may expect an attempt to take out this high level here. But so let's see. This is our thesis. Now we conclude this. We are kind of in the magnet zone here. We're thinking, it's everybody's guess where prices are going to go. Maybe MES is going to play catch up to MNQ to go back and sync again. We may expect an attempt at these levels. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit further on the full chart here. Just a second. So I'm going to go here to MES. And now let's have a look if this idea has any merit on the chart right here. And I'm also going to have a quick look at what is MNQ doing right now. Okay, so the idea is that prices may come up to this level here. We do have bearish momentum still on the MA rush indicator, but potentially a long trade could be of interest if we get a really good entry. So this is our high volume node here. If you perhaps come down to this level here, potentially you have a long limit entry or stop loss just here. So if you take out this level here, I think this thesis, this idea that we're going to play catch up to MNQ to take out these highs is no longer valid. And yeah, we may not take this trade. So let me just quickly look at MNQ at the same time. All right, there we go. So MNQ did go up. It's retracing just a little bit right now, but it's still in the vicinity of these highs here. So yeah, I mean, okay, let me just quickly go back here. Prices are coming down. Let me open up my trading panel. I'm not saying I'm gonna pull the trigger yet. It's not my ideal setup in the sense that, hey, there's no key level around. We're kind of in the middle between support and resistance, but we are at this high volume node, which oftentimes acts as some sort of support if prices are coming down from the upper end into this level. So if we were to play this idea, what we could do is we could place a limit entry of one trade. By the way, I'm connected to my Interactive Brokers account. Maybe if you get right to this level down here, my stop loss just below here is just going to be a little field buy just to prove this theory. And the idea is that, prices are going to play catch up and they're trying to at least come to this high level, which MNQ has already taken out. Okay.
Good reward to risk.
Yeah, good reward to risk. It's a very small trade. It's a 65 Canadian dollars. This is really not much, but let's just see how this works out. It is not my favorite setup, but it's just one way. Oops, that's fine, I believe. Let's place this trade. Yeah, the order is in, and let's see if this plays out. I do want to get my good entries. I'm not going to chase this by any means. As you know me, I really like prices to come to me to get me the fill that I want. I'd rather miss out on a trade than trying to chase a trade here. All right. So, okay. So first order is placed. Let's see what happens with MNQ. And this was based, just as a reminder, based on the fact that MES might play catch up to MNQ. It's currently not correlated at all. MNQ, they're typically correlated at least 64 levels, sometimes even higher. They very much go in tandem. Right now, they are not. MNQ is leading the way. We can see it here. There's a little rocket. It's the MNQ to MES, a little rocket sign here on the lower time frame. It's leading the way. Maybe MES will play catch up because it's a laggard right now to follow suit. This is exactly why we executed this trade, and we just got filled. I got my message here, so let's switch back real quick to this entry here. And we got our fill. Let's see if this one will pan out. I'm also interested in this because this is typically a setup that we would not trade. But now with the TI pairs indicator, we may have a whole new repertoire or new indicator in our repertoire to find interesting setups in the sense that, hey, two symbols are correlated. One needs to play catch up. We're going to go along that symbol because it needs to catch up where MNQ has already been previously. So it's an idea we're trying out right now to see. Let's see if it works out.
And I think, and it's a good test case there. And really the whole trade, because we're basing it on MNQ, it's a good place to put the stop. It's just a little bit below the lows, kind of arbitrary, but that's not the end of the world because we're really basing it on what's happening on another symbol.
That's right. So I want to get out. Yeah, if we go down here, I want to definitely close out this trade. But yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so there's a question that came in from Chris. Oh, actually, two questions about the TI matrix indicator. So let me quickly elaborate on this.
TI pairs.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the first question from Chris: can custom symbols be saved in the settings? Yes, they can. So what you need to do, this is TI pairs. And by the way, the way I set this up was as follows. Let me just quickly redo this here. I'm going to duplicate this chart. I'm going to start from scratch. 1 second. Oops. So what I did, by the way, I was the way I set this up. I'm going to hide these indicators here. I first went to double chart mode. That's the reason for this. So I'm going to go to my layout settings here. I go to double chart mode, this one here, where we have an upper panel and a lower panel. I click on it, and the way I'm going to use it is on the upper panel. It's going to be my any of my symbols that I'm trying to consider. In this case, it might be gold, but it could be anything else. I typically even make this a little bit smaller here. And on the lower panel, I'm going to dedicate this one exclusively for the TI pairs indicator. And so, and I really would like to see it all very clear. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hide this graph completely. So I can do this by going to the settings down here and go to symbol and just uncheck body, borders, and wick. It's all gone now. And then go to canvas and also hide my grid lines to none. So it's all nice and black. Okay, that's one way to do it. And then I'm going to apply our TI pairs indicator to it. Oh, first off, the other thing I want to do also is in my layout here, I want to symbol link these two panels. So I enable symbol linking and interval linking too. There's also a reason for this. I'm going to go to my 30-minute chart, which we used previously, I believe. Was it the 30-minute? 50-minute. Okay, so I'm going to go to 50-minute here. And now what I'm going to do is I will apply on the lower pane here our TI pairs indicator, which you can see down here. Perfect. Okay, it will load with the default settings in just a bit. This will take about 10, 20 seconds to load. The reason for this is it's a correlation indicator and it needs to analyze all the price data from all the symbols are currently loaded for the indicator. So don't be discouraged. This will just take a little while here to load. You can see it here, it's still loading. But once done, it will work flawlessly. So just give this, it's 20 seconds to load, give or take. Now, once it is loaded, what I like to do is I like to pull all the way up here. Actually, I like to push this button here, full screen mode, maximize pane. So I have the entire indicator loaded here. And then what I've also done is in the settings, I first off selected custom settings here. I think this is something for you, William. So I choose custom settings and I programmed down here all these symbols I'm interested in. So for all 12 symbols, actually for the first 10 months, we can increase this to 12 here if you would like. So for all 12 symbols here, it then loaded. I also put my font size to small because I like this one better. And then I applied it to the chart. And in terms of saving these settings, Chris, you can just go down here to just drop down and click on Save as Defaults. And once done, all these custom settings, your number of symbols of all the custom symbols here, and so forth, the font size will be applied automatically. All right. So this is how I customize this indicator, and this is the one I'm using right here. So this is just a way I set it up. And one more thing to note here is, let me just quickly, to note here is, Nicholas, I think this is what you mentioned here, that we have a bit of an overlay here, no spacing to either way.
Yeah, you should be able to go scroll down into the settings of the indicator.
Okay. Oops, the indicator, yes. A second.
And scroll down and just change the cell height to like 2.
Got it.
And I think that might help. I'm not certain. It might be that the max amount of rows is hit that causes that.
Let's have a quick look.
Let's take a look. And Chris, please let us know if after you do save defaults, maybe after you log out and log in, it disappears, but I don't think it will. I think it shouldn't.
Yeah. And Aubrey is wondering, is there a way to scan for the worst or best symbol using the pairs indicator? No, currently that's not possible, Aubrey. So this needs to be scanned by hand at this stage. But that's definitely an interesting idea. Potentially, when we go to NinjaTrader or MotiveWave, we finally port this indicator to these platforms, this might be a possibility. So definitely a good idea. Okay, so let me quickly see what's going on while this is loading here on our trade. Oh, look at this. Hey, did we discover a brand new setup, Nicholas?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look at the correlation matrix. What's going on right now? Look at them. It caught up. MES caught up almost to MNQ. And this is exactly the trade we're anticipating. Coincidence? Well, I don't know. Maybe. Let's have a quick look what's going on in MNQ. How's it behaving? It also broke out, actually. So I guess they're both kind of breaking out right now. And let's see how we can manage this trade right now. So we are here. We're close to our target. And I'm almost inclined to ring the register early on a day like this. We're close enough to our target. This is not far up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm will potentially close out this trade very early once we get a bit higher here.
I think that's a
Just
good idea. It's having time. It's having trouble catching up too quickly.
yeah, and then we may see a bit of a rebound after a quick move up. So let's see if we can get to our target here. And you know what? I'm gonna ring the register. Close this one out. It's fine. It makes me feel good to start the trading day. You may say, hey, Daniel, you overreacted, but it's just part of my psyche as a trader. I like to start off the day with a nice winner. Gives me a better feeling for the rest of the day. So even if this was prematurely, I think we proved the point. Yeah. Hey, this catch up idea in this case, of course, who knows? Maybe it's just a coincidence. Worked out nicely at least. And you know, in trading, it's about forecasting the future. Uh, it's not easy to begin with, but at least what we did here, we actually had a thesis, a plan of what may be happening. And you know, it's so important in trading that you have this plan in mind. You don't trade randomly, and the plan may work out or it may not work out. And but at least you've thought it through. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So this is done. First trade is in the books. I'm happy for that one. Let's go back to our overview chart to see what else we can see. All right. So this was
Silver and gold are acting. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to a different class. This is for the indices. Let's have a look at our metals. Good point. Okay, well, silver is once again at this key resistance level after this bounce. All right, and we have a couple of liquidity captures here. And gold is lagging behind. Gold is nowhere near this, I guess, this resistance level here
And
where it was.
gold is kind of leading behind, because we're expecting it to lead the way. So if it's struggling to rise, that might, according to the pairs matrix, might be a sign that silver's
Yeah,
soon going to have trouble going up higher. It is
let's
also,
yeah,
excuse me, hitting around number 38 on silver.
let's have a look. Yeah, let's see how gold and silver are correlated right now. Okay, so new use case. We looked at MNQ and MES previously, where MES was strangely behind. We took that trade, which was nice. Let's have a look how gold MGC, and what you may see this little star next to micro gold here. The star is printed like up here and down here. It's because it is loaded on the chart. So here I've symbol linked the upper pane and the lower pane. And because of this, and MGC is loaded here on the upper pane because of this is highlighted. Okay, so MGC and silver. Silver is right down here. How are these two ones correlated? And the way to find that correlation is to see where they intersect in the lower diagonal here, below the lower diagonal. So what do we see? So here's silver and gold. They intersect right here. You can see MGC and silver. All right. So we can see that if you look at this one here, is that they are very correlated, short term and long term. There's not a big difference. Like not what we had in MES and MNQ in the beginning. They are positively correlated. And by the way, positively correlated means that if one symbol goes up, the other symbol will go up. That's a positive correlation. There's also the idea of a negative correlation. Here's an example. Look at MNQ, micro natural gas, and Russell. For some reason, completely negatively correlated or indirectly correlated, as one may say. Meaning, if MNQ goes up, the Russell is likely to go down. Or conversely, if the Russell is going up, MNQ is likely to go down for whatever reason right now. I don't question these moves. I think, many people try to rationalize this. Why is this? I just follow the markets. It is where it is right now. I play the patterns. All right. Okay. So, but go back to our silver and gold story here. So very much positive correlated with no big difference. Okay. That's good to know. But if we now look at who is leading and who is lagging, we can see here, if you go to the upper quadrant, the upper part here, the upper triangle, if you go to MGC and silver here and MGC, we can see that gold has this little rocket sign here. Gold is leading silver on the short term. You can see this rocket here. So gold leads silver with positive correlation. Meaning, okay, gold went down, or gold is as struggling as where it is. Silver right now is at a key resistance level. So if we use this logic, one may conclude, okay, silver is going to bounce off this resistance level to the downside, trying to catch up to gold because gold is leading the pack. All right, so let's once again go back to our chart. I'm going to open up silver because that's potentially, and I'm so happy I exited this one here. uh, let's look at silver right here. And we are on the 5-minute time frame. Let me just see if we can replicate the same setup that I had before. Yes, we are once again, we're at resistance here. And the idea would be, okay, silver is catching up to gold, may experience yet another bounce to the short side. So let's try to prove it one more time. All right. So sell trade. I don't want to enter at these levels here. I want to wait for price to come up again. Again, I'd rather get I miss out on this trade than to get a bad entry price. So sell trade here, one contract with our profit target. Just here at this zone of control. Why there? Because this level oftentimes acts as, in this case, support, and price may bounce off from this level. Nicholas, would you agree with this trade? As an idea, in an attempt to catch up to gold?
Yeah, definitely. I do think so.
Are you skeptical? Sounds skeptical.
No. I would also like to get a better entry.
Oh,
But
for sure. Yeah.
you're putting it up there, so that's good.
You have to get a better entry. It's entry management. Getting an entry where you have really good reward to risk ratio is so key to trading because this is really where you get the price that you want. And as I mentioned before, I'd rather miss out on a trade than being stuck in a bad trade. That's absolutely not what I want. So very important.
Oh, Daniel, what's going on with Bitcoin?
Let's have a look. Okay, so this is our trade here. Let's see if we get a fill here. See if this one pans out. Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to go to our overview chart real quick for our currencies. So here we have euro on the top left, top right, pound. Bitcoin here on the bottom left, and here we have Ethereum right here. So Bitcoin, as you can see, is near a zone of control in between support and resistance. So let's zoom in a little bit more on Bitcoin to see what we can find. So I'm going to go back to my chart here. And one thing I wanted to quickly also, let's go back to the full screen mode here first. So Bitcoin, MBT. All right. Let's see. It's really range bound though. And if you were there at our last live trading workshop last week, we actually did this range bound play a few times because here, actually my idea would be, Nicholas, we are stuck in Bitcoin in this zone of control. And oftentimes when you're stuck like this, you may see prices to range back and forth around this zone of control. And every time it approaches the upper end of the range, this could be an interesting short, a very short-term short, and you would exit when it goes towards the lower end. When it comes to the lower end, you would go long again. So this is one potential play here. What do you think?
Huh? Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's breaking out anytime soon, at least from a 15 or 30-minute perspective. There's still like some important milestones it would have to really snap through, like 115 and a half and so on.
It could be an interesting one. So let me see what's going on with silver. In fact, let's keep this in mind. I want price to come up a bit higher anyways before I would go short here. We could just get filled in silver. So let's go back at our silver trade. And here the idea was, okay, silver will play catch up towards gold in the sense that it will bounce off this level. All right, so nothing happened here so far. We got our fill here. Prices came back up. Another proof of concept here that I really want the fill that I'm comfortable with. And oftentimes, even if you think, oh my God, prices are running away from me. No, the market will try to fake you out over and over again. And oftentimes you will get the fill that you want to see. And imagine I would be filled down here. I would be down already now, much, much more than this. Of course, this is minor, but my entry would have been much worse. Okay. So let's see how this pans out. The idea here is that we will bounce off this key resistance level. We do see a bunch of liquidity captures here. Idea is that the resistance will hold. If it doesn't hold, we're going to get out of this level here, right above resistance, because then our idea would not be valid anymore. If it holds and prices bounce off, then we want to book our profits down here at this zone of control of volume IQ, because this may act as support. So that's the idea here in silver. So let's see how this one will pan out. Back to Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Bitcoin. I'm just going to quickly see if there are any questions coming up.
We got one here from William saying he figured out how to change the symbols, but the numbers in his table don't match yours. So just some notes for that. So there's, one factor is the numbers that are shown in the table are dependent on which chart time frame you're on. exactly which symbols you selected from which
Yeah.
index or exchange, sorry, which contract, and also dependent on perhaps, probably not on a shorter time frame, but what your trading view subscription is and how much data you have. I think we have like an ultimate one, which is probably why it calculates it calculates faster for other subscriptions because ours has to go back like 20,000 bars. But I think if you're on the same time frame with the exact same symbols from exchanges, it should be pretty close.
Yeah, that should be close. Agreed. Okay. Just as a reminder here, what we have is the 50-minute time frame for the indicator. Yeah, that's the one. Perfect. All right. Going back to, I'm gonna open up my trading panel. Oh, it's not the right one. This one here. All right, so silver is just chilling where it is right now. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna keep an eye on the on this value here just to see if there's anything of interest happening. But right now, prices are still at the levels where they were before. Okay, so let me go back to Bitcoin because Bitcoin was interesting. And here the idea was, hey, we're gonna play the range bound trade. We think prices might be stuck in this sideways pattern, which if I draw a little line here, trend line, yeah, you can see it here, up from here to basically down here. That's our sideways pattern. And every time it will approach, the lower end, let's draw this up here. Draw this up. Oh boy. I guess I have magnetic mode on or something. It doesn't matter. You get the idea. If it comes to the upper end of the sideways pattern, we could play the bounce move. And why do we do this? Because we are really stuck at this high volume node as per volume IQ. So oftentimes this, will really slow down price. Price gets stuck in there and it will range for a while. But also these range patterns, these are tradable, especially from a scalping point of view. All right, so we're going to keep an eye on this. And in fact, I'm going to set an alert right here and prices come back to this level here. I like to set alerts in trading because they, allow me to move on. And then if something of interest happens, I will then act accordingly. Maybe if prices come down to this level. So let's see if we get alerted. Okay, so let's go back to our overview. I'm going to quickly look at silver first. So silver is right here. Yeah, silver is still chilling here. The idea is to see a bounce move off this key resistance level. I don't like the fact that what keep testing this level over and over again. Oftentimes that's a bad sign. But we'll see. I will stay in this trade. Because why could this be a bad sign? I use the analogy, let's say you're standing on a frozen pond, trying to, you hammer if an ice pick in your hand, you're hammering down the ice. Eventually, this ice will break. And oftentimes, when prices keep testing a level, like this resistance level here, eventually it will break and prices will power through. But we'll see. It may not be today, especially since silver needs to play catch up to gold.
And it's also, yeah, it's contingent on gold and gold's still moving up. So that's another factor. But silver is
Gold
kind
is
of,
moving up. Okay, yeah,
well, it's trying, but silver has definitely moved up a lot more than gold. So
yeah,
that's kind of a factor in our favor. But yeah, it's dependent on gold.
yes, absolutely. Okay, yeah. So gold also is kind of stuck here in this zone of control, this high volume node, and we may expect a bounce actually in gold too to the downside, which would definitely be good for silver if silver is trying to play catch up. So yeah, we'll see what's going on there. Let me go back to some other symbols.
What
Let's go
about
back.
corn?
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
were you just about to talk about corn?
I was going to say corn and platinum.
Oh yeah. I love corn futures. Corn, unfortunately, I don't see much of an opportunity right now because it's just going in one direction. I don't want to chase this trend. This is not the way I like to play it. I like to play these slow moving symbols. They're super slow. If something of interest happens, this may only happen once a day because they're moving so slow. Like when prices come up to resistance here, and then I play the bounce. I've done this earlier on today on my prop trading account right here as well. That's when I want to do it. Right now, I mean, we could play the trend trade. We in fact on soybeans, just real quick. This one down here, we just broke below a support level on the chart time frame. So if I go to soybeans here, ZS, I'm gonna switch my liquidity IQ indicator to the chart time frame temporarily. I'm going to switch this back in a bit. So we can see that's a level here at 988, which is on a higher time frame. But here on the chart time frame, we saw, okay, we lost this level here, and potentially we could play a trade, a very short-term scalp, if you get a nice entry here from here all the way down to this level. That could be something we could do. I don't like the fact that there's another level here, which is former support, because prices may bounce off from there. So I'm gonna wait, but let's set an alert anyways here at this level. If we go up a little bit further, maybe this could be another short idea with a stop loss just above this broken support level, which now may act as support, maybe. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's a very expensive contract to trade, so let's keep this in mind. All right, a quick look back to silver. Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, silver. Oh, this is not what I wanted to see. So now we need silver to come back down. It's now or never. We are losing this level here. This key resistance level, especially if I go back to my previous settings where I configure liquidity IQ with the 30-minute reference time frame. So either we bounce now or we're gonna break out. If we break further out, I'll be closing this trade as a loss. That's fine. It was an idea to short silver. Of course, a very bullish symbol in recent history. So shorting at a level against the overarching trend, you can see here this symbol has been going up for a while, is always risky because this is not the ideal scenario. Ideally, we want silver to come down somehow, testing a resistance level and then short it, because that would be in line with the overarching trend. That's not the case here, but the idea was, hey, maybe we're going to play catch up with our gold trade, and this was the idea for shorting this one. So let's keep an eye on this. Yeah, if we go further than this, I'm gonna close out this trade.
I would even pull the stop down to like, I guess 38 is fine.
I'll just keep an eye. I'll just keep an eye
might
on
not
it.
even get full.
Yeah,
What about oil, CL?
Yeah, let's have a look.
It's really plummeted down to a support level, I think.
I'm gonna keep this up here so I can keep a little bit of an eye out on my unrealized P&L. And if you're wondering, hey, why is this different from this up here? We only have one trade open. Well, this one up here is in US dollars, and my base currency, or our base currency for our Interactive Brokers account, is in Canadian dollars. You can see that's the difference here, in case you're wondering. All right. Okay. And by the way, if you have Interactive Brokers, it's really nice to segregate your funds. So what we've done is we have one master account, but within that master account, we have created several sub accounts. So one dedicated for day trading, like a futures day trading, one dedicated for our swing trades of options or stocks. So that's a really neat way to do it, and to really have two separate fragments of your master account. That's possible with Interactive Brokers quite easily. All right. So what else did we want? Oh, oil, you said, Nicholas. Let's have a look. Oh, oil's losing it. And we have the news coming out at 10:30. That would be interesting to see. I'm not going to execute any trades right now. If you remember, in oil, we did have these economic news coming out around 10:30. Crude oil stocks change, whatever, some I guess production on oil and so forth.
Not a high impact, right? But I guess that's maybe market wide. It's not high impact, but oil it might be.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe for oil it might be. Important. Let's see how oil reacts. So how many minutes we have left? We have 5 minutes left until these will come out. All right. And Bill says, I was able to change the symbols, but my numbers, the numbers don't match up. Okay, we already had this question. Okay. I hope this was answered by making sure you use the same time frame. All right, perfect. So oil, we're gonna wait and see. And let me go back to my overview chart to see which symbols are of interest. All right. In fact, I'm going to delete this drawing here. This makes me nervous. 1 second. Oh, Bitcoin crossed. Oh, look at this. This is exactly what you want to see. This is how I use TradingView alerts. We just got an alert from Bitcoin. Let's see what happened. Good segue.
NQ is dropping too. I'm sure that's probably pulling Bitcoin with it a bit.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so Bitcoin, MBT. Let's see where we are. Okay, we went to the lower quadrant. Okay, all right. Now, Let's see what volume IQ is showing us. Okay. So still stuck in this zone of control. And if I mean, we're here to try things out, of course. If you believe in this pattern and prices do get stuck in the zone of control, they are range bound. One trade, of course, that we could do right now, it's going to be a very small one because I really want to test this theory, is a scalp trade, a very small amount in the anticipation, hey, we're going to bounce off again towards the upper end of this range. Now, this is technical analysis at its easiest, at its simplest. Just found a range. It coincides with this high volume node. Let's place this trade, just one contract. And in fact, we had a similar trade last week on MNQ. I remember when MNQ was stuck in that range, and I forgot if it worked out or not, Nicholas. Did it work out? Maybe it didn't. I forget. But it was a similar idea. So let's try it one more time. The idea is that this range is going to continue. These range-bound markets, they can continue, surprisingly, for a really long time. My stop loss, I mean, if you really want to really give it a lot of space below this peak here, the swing low, which would coincide with these levels as well. Let's see if we get a fill, and then we may see a bounce off this level. I like it because also Emmy Rush has turned bullish, so the momentum is a bit to the upside. We're making higher lows and a bit of a higher highs around here. So this would bode well for potentially a bullish bounce from here. But here it's really important to get the entry that you want at the lower end of this channel. Do not chase by no means. So once again, I'd rather lose out on this trade than to get a bad entry. All right. Okay, perfect. One thing I wanted to mention now, as we are waiting for some of these entries to happen, and silver is still chilling out at the upper end of this resistance level. I'm gonna have a quick look at silver, and then I'm gonna give you, it's just up there. So yeah, if we can hold this level, this is a key resistance level, then we're gonna exit this trade as, hey, this idea did not work out. By the way, if you're interested in our indicator, our TI pairs indicator, we do have a special offer for everyone in the room today, where you will get this indicator for only $247, which is $100 below its normal price of $347. And Nicholas, please put this link into the chat. It's available at tradingindicators.com/TI pairs. And the idea is to use this indicator for three purposes. First off, if you're in a trade and you're considering another trade on a different symbol, make sure these symbols are not correlated. You don't want to double down. The indicator will help you with this. Secondly, if you can find symbols which are typically correlated, but currently out of sync, and one symbol may play catch up, you can find this as well. This was the basis for our ES trade early on. And thirdly, you can see early movers and late responders. Similar idea where one will potentially play catch up to the other symbol. All right. So these are the three key use cases for this indicator. It's our brand new addition to our set of indicators, and it fills a very important gap because we got caught a few times in trades which were heavily correlated and doubling down our risk that way, which should have been avoided. And now this indicator will help us avoid these situations. So it's tradingindicators.com/TI pairs. And in order to get the discount, the $100 discount, just simply, and Nicholas, please also put this into the box. Put the coupon code pairs 100, one word, pairs 100 to get $100 off this indicator. All right. So back to our levels here. So silver is still chilling here. I don't really like the setup. It's like it feels that it wants to break out to the upside. Let's see what's happening. But yeah, if you can hold this level, then we definitely need to exit it. I would never move this stop. It's okay to book a loser. This was an idea which doesn't pan out. The worst that you can do is to move the stop and then hope, oh my God, please trade, turn around. No, don't do it. Just rip the bandit off and take the loss, book the loss, and move on. That's always the better idea. It's very rare that if you keep moving your stop, it's actually going to come down. Just going to dig the hole even deeper and deeper.
All right. Oils came down to that level we were looking at, high volume node, showing some signs of bouncing right now with the news, but we'll see. It's picking up volatility.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about the news. Yeah, the 10:30 news, a bit of a bounce. I will still wait a little bit here. Oh, and silver is getting stopped out. Most likely right now, yeah, that's
the big T2 bounce.
Yeah.
starting out, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, you mean here in oil? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it came
seems
down
to
right there,
bounce.
found support, and now it's really lifting off a bit. And it's been super
It's
volatile the past maybe 48 hours on
yeah,
oil, I find.
it
Um,
is. It is an uptrend, but yeah, it's a nice pullback in this uptrend down to a T2 zone. I still want to wait a little bit more in oil here because, you know, um, who knows what these news will bring. Oftentimes you see these big spike, Canton prices will reverse completely to the opposite direction. Let's wait a bit more. I don't want to pull the trigger prematurely for oil. So, but it's definitely an interesting one. Maybe if you come down here, yeah, it could be an interesting long trade. Your stop loss just below the support level. So if you look at this one here, stop loss just here, enter here. Maybe with a small contract, it could be a good idea. Let me just zoom out a little bit further to see what we see here. Yeah, prices are coming down nicely. We go to the higher time frame just to see where oil is coming from. Yeah, we came down. This is the ultimate stop here. Of course, that's miles away on the smaller time frame. I don't want to give this trade this much room, but we're definitely stuck in this high volume node. You can see it here, right there, even on the higher time frame. So yeah, it might actually be an interesting long entry setup here in oil, based on the fact that if you get an entry here or stop loss right here, then we're definitely out, and we anticipate a bounce off this level.
I do like it, yeah. And if you look at it from another higher time frame, like the 15 or the 30, that was a pretty long process with a lot of liquidity captures to gain that 65, nice round number
Yeah,
between 60 and 70. So it's just such a nice reward, clear reward to risk. Like if we break
yeah,
65, it's probably going to plummet and we'll get out.
yeah. Let's see. Let's see if we can get an entry here. Let me also in fact, now, okay, good point. Let's not jump the gun. Let's check out our TI matrix indicator. We are already short silver. I just want to see if we're not doubling down, if they're not somehow in some weird way correlated today. So let's go to our TI matrix indicator and let's check it out. Let's look at silver and let's look at crude oil because we are already short silver. Oh, look at this. It's recovering a little bit here. Um, so short silver, and we're considering a long in oil. So let's see if that is within our risk profile. So where do we have oil? Where is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, I didn't see it. We have it right here. So oil is here and silver is here. And we can see, no, they are not correlated. If anything, very slightly indirectly correlate, but these numbers are way too close to 100. That's unrelated. They're not moving in tandem. Good. Okay, we got a green light from this point of view. And in fact, if two things are uncorrelated, like as you may think oil and silver are, well, why would they be correlated? It doesn't really make sense to look at these leaders or laggards because they're not correlated to begin with. So these laggards symbols are only really important if two things are correlated and one symbol is trying to play catch up. Okay, so let me go then to oil. Okay, we got the green light from our TI pairs indicator. And now let's see if we can plan out this trade. So the idea would be to enter somewhere around the zone of control. I'm not going to chase it, as I never will do. So I want to get my entry here right in the zone of control. If we hopefully come down one more time, stop loss just below here at like a $92 reward to risk. And again, don't have FOMO if prices are higher. That's not what you want to do. And then my target just here in this other high volume node, because here prices may slow down again. This is how I would plan out the trade. Maybe a little bit late to the game here, but again, there are news coming out. I don't want to jump the gun. I want to wait patiently, sit on my hands until things settle down a little bit, because you all oftentimes get faked out in these times where market news are coming out, or prices initially go out, then turn around, and turn around again. So don't
Especially
get caught
here.
in
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so we're
Especially on
gonna
oil. It's been happening like that a lot. Big up candle, big down candle.
yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait patiently. Okay. All right. Oil and silver surprisingly actually came all the way back. Let's have a quick look at silver. Well, we wicked up, almost got stopped out. Now we're down again. And the idea is that we want to lose this resistance level. So I want prices to plummet fairly soon from this level. If we don't, I'm going to close out this trade. If you just keep hanging out here for too long, this is not a good sign for a bounce move. It means this level is weakening, and we're probably gonna go higher. But let's wait a little bit more. But if you don't get out of this level, maybe in the next 10 minutes to the downside, then I will close out this trade no matter where it is. So let's wait and see here. All right. And we may get stopped up before. Now that I said it, well, we'll see what happens. Okay. Oh boy. All right. All right. That's that one. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. We have a long trade there in Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. See, this is the danger of
Wow.
doing waiting too long. What danger it is? This is the way I trade. I didn't want to chase it, but it panned out the way we predicted it. So this market story has unfolded. And now what we could do is we could try to short it up here. Again, we are range bound. Want to play the extremes? Go ahead, do it. Short the trade when it comes all the way up here and buy into it when it comes down to the lower end of this range. So we'll see what happens here with Bitcoin. Chris is saying wheat has been good, just like corn for the last 2 weeks. Really? Let's have a look at wheat futures. The reason why I didn't open. Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, wheat. Wheat futures. There we go. ZW. That's not the right one. Yeah, ZW. This one. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is range bound. Okay. Oh, well, actually, it's bearish. We just get off this level here. Broke this below the zone of control, which held quite nicely in this downtrend. Yeah, but also now we are nowhere near a level. This is not something I would trade right now. It's just a bit too risky for me because there's no clear reward to risk. I don't want to short it now here. This is way too far away. If prices come up once again to this zone of control, then potentially I consider a short in wheat futures. But right now, at this level, yeah, I won't want to wait until the entry gets better for sure. But yeah, thanks for the recommendation. What's going on with did we have soybeans on our radar? Didn't we have a little
Well, that's pretty
note?
interesting.
Yeah, a double bottom here in soybeans. You can see we are approaching this key support level as per our liquidity IQ indicator. Let's have a look here. We see a bit of a bounce coming up. I just don't want to go long here. We are bearish, clearly bearish, even though we had a few bullish bounces here, but clearly bearish. I don't want to go against that trend. So again, I would wait a little bit till prices come up and then maybe short it again. In the expectation here, we're going to go down to this support level once again. Yeah. We'll quick look at corn. Yeah, corn is also going down. Yeah. Interesting day today. Very directional trade for corn and soy and also wheat. Oftentimes they're very range bound, but today is one of these directional days. All right. Okay, so back to where should we go back? Let's go back to our overview chart. And guys, if you have any questions, please put those questions into the Q&A box. All right. Okay, so MNQ just chilling here. MES, yeah, it's a very rangy day today, strangely. Russell is quite down today. Yeah, downtrend here, we bounce off this resistance level down now at this zone of control. Also, the Dow is quite bearish. Yeah, down here now at this zone of control. Potentially maybe a short opportunity. We'll see. Maybe we can zoom in on the Dow a little bit further. Okay, so let me do this. So let me go down to oh boy. You know, when I said it with silver, oh yeah, the more it chills out in this level, I should just close it out. And I think this is what's gonna happen now. I didn't see what I saw there. It came back down, but it stalled out at the lower end of this key resistance level. Maybe we're gonna get another chance at another break below, but it feels bullish to me right now. So I may just close out this trade. We'll see if we see this bounce maybe happening. We see it to the downside, but if not, better just to move on from this trade and consider other symbols.
I would, yeah, I wouldn't close it out just yet because I'm looking at gold, and gold's coming up to a pivot high, previous pivot high in its current short-term downtrend on the 15-minute. It's coming down a little bit. They're both inversely correlated with MNQ, which is now going back up to high of day. So
let's have a look. That's a good point. Yeah, let's look at how
it might fail here. Yeah,
that's a good idea. So MNQ and gold. Let's look at this one here. Inversely correlated, you say? Maybe not on my time frame here. They seem to be positively correlated right now, at least for the TI matrix. So that will kind of contradict this story, at least, and then right now when we're looking at it. Also silver, I believe, is currently
The 15 and 30 minute, where on the longer time frame, at least with gold, it is yeah.
That's a good point. I think on the longer time frame,
Or sorry,
these
30,
are
30 minute.
oftentimes inversely correlated. Let me just go up to maybe something like the 1 hour time frame. So when does I change this?
That would be a bit strange though if they are correlated, right?
I mean, these correlations change over time, and it's just important to see what's going on right now. But let's go to a really long time frame to see what was the pattern there between gold and MNQ, the Nasdaq futures. And the reason why they're often inversely correlated is if stocks going down, people are looking for a safe haven, maybe invest more in gold. So let's have a look. Yeah, you can see it here on that time frame. At least it's inversely correlated. On the really long time frame, actually, it's positively correlated, which also makes sense. If you look at the long-term charts, gold has been in a long-term uptrend, so that the Nasdaq futures or the S&P futures also in a long-term uptrend. So it all can be reasoned, but at least now we see it. And another good use case for this TI pairs indicator is just to, don't have confirmation bias. Because you may think in your head, hey, these are always inversely correlated. Now, maybe not right now. Now we can see it here directly by these numbers. These are the hard facts that we should always rely on, rather than our confirmation bias that we may have. All right, so let me go back here to the 15. Okay, perfect. Where were we? Now, let me see if there any questions are coming in. I don't see any questions. And I'm going to quickly remind everyone in this room real quick that we do have the special offer for our TI pairs indicator. It's tradingindicators.com/TI-pairs. Okay, so coupon code pairs 100 to get a $100 discount off an indicator which already has, I believe, a very fair price. So go back to my view here. Let's look at silver, because in silver, I said, okay, it's now or never. Well, once again, down to this level. If he can't lose it soon, the next 5 minutes or so, I want to get out of this trade. I don't trust this anymore. Let's observe it a little bit. So what I would like to see is now a move downwards. If he's stalling out again here at this kind of broken resistance level, then I think it's not going to happen. And I'm going to close out this trade manually, because I've seen this many times where, of course I might be wrong today, but I've seen it many times when people just stall out at a level, we don't see the immediate bounce move that we saw here. See, up here, down right away. That's what I want to see. If we see it happening, now or never, I'm going to keep this trade open. If we lose this, then we come down to this level here. If not, then I'm just going to close this out, because I think price are just going to stall out here, and eventually we're going to get stopped out. So we'll see what happens there. So this is what you want to see: up and an immediate bounce, quick action. If things take too long, oftentimes that's not the best sign. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on this. I have it here down in my box here to keep an eye on these prices. Let's have a look at Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin now? Oh, Bitcoin. What a nice range trade that could have been. So what I can do now, in fact, did we have an order? Oh yeah, the order was right here. I'm going to take down this limit order. I'm going to replace it. Guess what? With a sell order. All the way at this upper range now here. If we get a nice entry there, stop us just above here, 26 bucks. And our entry right down here. Great reward to risk ratio. I'm going to say sell this limit order. See if we get the entry here. And the idea is to stay range bound for longer. As I mentioned, prices tend to hang out in these high volume nodes, and they slow down prices. We actually got off right away. I hope I'm not going to get proven wrong with this one here. All right, I'm going to have a quick look at silver. I'm going to close out the silver trade. I don't like the fact that it's just hanging out there, Nicholas.
Cool.
So let me just close it out here with our little limit order here. We're going to get it there to close it out more or less at break even. It's just taking too long. It's not a good sign. I'm going to keep an eye on this real quick to see if you get, but you know what? It's just my OD, ADs, ADHD, ODs, whatever it might be called. I just want to get out there at the price I want to get out. Okay,
Oh,
cool.
oh, OCD, obsessive
OCD,
compulsive disorder. Yeah.
which I actually don't have, but it's just a little quirk that I have in my trading. Hey, I don't want to do market orders. I still want a profit target to be hit, even though if it's just at break even. And of course, Murphy's Law, maybe we're gonna lose this level right now. I'll be upset, but we'll see what's gonna happen. Okay, so so we're short Bitcoin now, which is great. And let's have a quick look which symbols Bitcoin is correlated right now with our TI pairs indicator. So I'm gonna go back to our indicator here, and I believe Bitcoin is not even loaded here. So I'm gonna use this one where I actually had everything loaded. Bitcoin is all the way down here, micro Bitcoin, and let's just have a look. Let's go through. Yeah, Nicholas, we can't see the numbers up here. So that's a little quirk we're gonna be fixing.
You could just click the little hide the eye icon, right?
But that's gonna
That's
hide
gonna
the
hide the.
indicator.
You can technically right click on the there and turn off indicator inputs, and that should
Ah,
help.
sweet. Perfect.
Could you do Control Z? So this is something I learned.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's perfect. No, it's right there.
Okay, good. Because when you hide the indicator title entirely, I couldn't find a way to put it back. So
Ah, okay. You can just click here. Maybe not, huh? Yeah.
I don't think so, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, okay, perfect. Okay, now it's good. So Bitcoin is all the way down here. Let's have a quick look at with which symbols Bitcoin is right now correlated. Just by scanning this entire row here. So this contrasts Bitcoin with every other symbol in our matrix, MNQ, ES, and so forth. Let's just go through this list. So here, somewhat positively correlated with MNQ. Okay, so it's not the highest number. It's not like in the 70s, but somewhat positively correlated MNQ. Less so with MES. Okay, that's interesting. Completely, well, no, kind of not correlated at all. I shouldn't go ahead of myself. These are low numbers. These are in the vicinity of zeros. Not really much going on here. In fact, I don't even want to consider anything as correlated if it's below 50 or above minus 50. That's really not a big enough number. And the only thing that stands out, so Bitcoin is really uncorrelated to kind of basically everything except for MNQ right now. That would be the only warning sign. And let's have a look at, let's prove this. Let's go back to our trade, our full screen chart here. So Bitcoin is going down a little. Oops, happened here. This happens sometimes. Hope I, I hope I didn't lose my internet. No, I'll be back. Okay, cool. So Bitcoin, okay, it is. Open it up here. So Bitcoin, the idea is we're gonna bounce off this level one more time to the lower end, and we are somehow correlated to MNQ. So let's open up MNQ to see. I'm positively correlated, and yeah, also MNQ has seen a little bit of a bearish bar, and this explains why this Bitcoin trade now is slightly positive. Of course, it's a super minor trade, but I like to trade this way, even though I could trade much higher given the account size. So with leverage, I could create much more position size. But oftentimes I find if I trade too big, I don't make the best trading decisions anymore. So I don't stay in a trade where I should stay in the trade, or I close trades out prematurely because I get scared because the position size is too high. So, one way that you can really use to improve your trading is to just trade small, because then, just make good trading decisions. And it will add up over time, believe me. It will do. Okay, so this is going on. I'm gonna go back one more time to our overview chart to see what else do we have. And guys, if you have questions, please put your questions into the Q&A box. All right. Yeah, not much going on here in the indices. It's kind of a boring day. They're kind of rangy in between support and resistance the entire time. Gold is going up, and silver is still stuck here. That's good. I'm happy with this. I'm happy we exited silver. It just took too long for this level to be left. Of course, it can still happen that we're going to come down, but hopefully not, because that would prove me wrong. Platinum, yeah, no man's land. It's grinding upwards, but nothing I want to get in right now. Look at oil. Oh, so oil went up and now it's coming down again. This is exactly what I was fearing a little bit, but of course we could have made some nice profits here off this fairly big move up. And I believe we do have an open, look at soybeans. We're gonna look at this one too. Do we have an open order in oil? Let's have a quick look.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, yeah, it's down here. All right, I'm still waiting. Price to come down, of course. they went up, but yeah, prices are coming down again. That's why I said, don't panic, don't feel anxious, especially during market events. You will oftentimes get multiple opportunities to get into a trade. All right, so we're gonna wait here, and let me look at soybeans. We're approaching a key support level here, if I'm not mistaken. And here I should have chased that short, but just not my style. Let's go to, yeah, look at this. With a liquidity capture. Ooh, what is this level? It's this one here. Oh man, I'm tempted to take this one. If we come down one more time. You know what? It's against the trend for sure, but this happened before and it bounced off so nice. And this is a key level. Look at this one here. Here, here, and here. Maybe it's a small trade on this one. I like this bounce. I like the fact how soybeans and also corn and wheat futures, I guess, are respecting these levels. I'm going to do a buy, limit entry, very small risk, just at this level down here. Stop loss just below here. It's expensive, but we're just going to create a small bounce off this level. Let's see if we can get it. So buy. Let's see if we can get a fill here of this key level. So the idea is, we'll bounce off just as we've done here and many times before off this level. I'm going to book my profits fast if this happens. Because, we are bearish. I don't really want to go too much against this trend. Right to this former support level here. And let's see what happens. All right. Okay, good. So I'm excited for this one. In fact, I may execute this trade also on my prop account right now. There's a quick look here. I'm going to wait a little bit. Okay, perfect. Oh, execute. Now we got our fill here. So now let's see what we're going to see here at soybeans. Of course, it is kind of catching a falling knife. Don't kid yourself. It is a very strong bearish move. And, if this happens, who knows if this support level is going to hold. We did get a liquidity capture, which is nice. That's encouraging. But of course, now we need prices to slow down here and come back up. Okay. So let's see. Fairly small profit target here. I'm definitely gonna get out if we lose this level. That's if we go below this, I may even reverse this trade playing into the short side, because then you can play the breakout trade. We lose this level. This is a key support level. Look at how important this level was in the past. If we lose it, I think we're gonna see much lower levels in soybeans. All right. So, but we'll see. We're not there yet. Definitely an interesting trade idea. All right. Checking a couple of questions. Okay, this is chilling in here. Bitcoin is, let's look at Bitcoin. What's going on with my Bitcoin trade? Yeah, it's chilling up in the upper area here. Of course, these range bound patterns, they may take some time to resolve. Let's see what's happening here. Of course, also if you get stopped out here, no harm, no foul. It's a very small risk at the table here. It's much bigger, actually, in fact, at our soybeans trade here, because here, if you get stopped out here, this is a very expensive contract. Then we're definitely going to lose all our daily profits, because that's an expensive contract. But unfortunately, we can't trade lower. All right. And I just got the alert here in Bitcoin. Yes, we came back up again for Bitcoin. Yeah, let's see. What you don't want to do here is to move your stop in the expectation. Maybe I'm just going to move it just above this level. Yeah, prove myself wrong, because it's kind of an important peak up here, which can act as support. The idea is to stay range bound. But if you lose this level, if you lose this, oh yeah, zone of control, then this range bound pattern is coming to an end. And that's okay. That's then what it is. Yeah, we're getting stopped out now. Now we're out of this trade. Okay, no harm, no foul. We get out of this trade. This range bound pattern eventually will come to an end. That's what's happening here right now. And if you look at MNQ, I believe MNQ probably also is pushing higher. You can see it here. Yes, we've been pushing higher in MNQ. No problem. This is why Bitcoin, I believe, also moved higher. And what's interesting is that what you should have not done, and we didn't do it, thankfully, is to go back to our matrix one more time here. Which one? Here we go. To have basically two short trades, one short trade MNQ and one short trade Bitcoin. Why? Because they are correlated. You would be doubling down on your risk. And this is exactly what this matrix, or one of the use cases, this matrix is good for, because you don't want to be caught in a situation like this. All right. Perfect. Okay, so that's this. Let's go back to our, where were we? Our soybeans trade is still hanging out there. That's fine. Oh, now it's pushing a bit lower. So here we do want to see an immediate bounce from this level. If you lose it, yeah, I don't have any faith in this one. We're probably gonna go much, much lower. You want to be immediately out of this trade.
Did that liquidity capture just come in on this bar?
Yeah,
Nice.
I believe so. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we do want to see a quick bounce happening here. I personally like these setups because they give you really good reward to risk. So if we actually see this bounce, it's well, it's a great trade. It can be a substantial move up, and you can see here also how our profit target is definitely further away than our stop loss. So nice reward to risk there. So yeah, let's see what's happening here. But again, it's kind of trying to catch a falling knife. But we'll see. What's if we can stop here? Definitely prices have slowed down a little bit in this area. Whether they're gonna stall out completely and we see a bounce move, it remains to be seen. All right. Good. Let's go back to our overview chart.
Silver's still hanging out, so it was a good idea to get out so far.
Yeah, so MQ is pushing higher. This is why we get out of
CL too. It's
Bitcoin.
pushing up.
What's pushing up?
Oil.
Oil. Oh, oil is pushing up. Let's have a look at the chart
A little bit.
here.
It's trying to not drop, rather.
Yeah. I guess this doesn't bode well for our entry, which is down here at the zone of control at the 65, 60 area, give or take. Yeah, all is being higher right now. It's okay. We don't chase trades in our live trading workshops. And let's look at Bitcoin. Was it a good idea? I got out this one. Oh yeah, look at this. And now let's actually go back to Bitcoin just to prove an example real quick. Now we see a bit of a bounce here of of soybeans. Let's see. Fingers crossed. We're gonna get all the way up here. I'll be very happy with that. Definitely a good sign that we did see this bounce happening here. Whether it's going to be lasting, that's a different story. But it's always good to see that prices are actually acting to these levels. So that gives me a good feel that, hey, our indicators, they're actually pretty precise in finding these levels. Of course, how prices are acting to it. But what will be the end result of prices acting to it? That, of course, is a different story. All right. So what was I doing, Nicholas? I forgot. Oil?
Checking
was it oil?
oil? Yeah.
Yes, potentially oil. Okay. Was it oil?
Well, we were talking about it. That it's
definitely were talking
it's trying to come up. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about it. Yeah, oil just chilling up here. If we get our entry down here, potentially this could be a nice entry, but I don't want to chase it. That's for sure. All right. Okay, let's have a look at
silver at high of day. Gold
silver
might be at high of day too.
Yeah, so good idea. Silver. I think this is what I wanted to do. And by the way, guys, if you ever see this little exclamation mark here on your chart, you can see it down here. With this runtime error, that means the trading view timed out. So this can happen for our liquidity IQ indicator, but also for volume IQ, potentially also for the pairs indicator. And the reason why this happens is it took too long for the indicator to calculate. And if TradingView servers are very busy, this can happen because these are very complex indicators doing thousands or tens of thousands of calculations per chart, which sometimes takes a while. And what you need to do, it's actually very simple. You will simply just change symbols of time frame and go back to the original time frame. So I'm going to quickly go to gold and go back to silver, and then it will recalculate, and chances are TradingView servers will be less busy and it will then calculate. Yeah, there we go. Now it works perfectly again. So this is a very easy solution to this small problem. Oh yeah, so silver breaking out. I'm so happy I exited it here. This was yeah, a feeling which I had, and maybe a good takeaway for you guys. If we don't see the bounce almost immediately, it's not a good sign. And I typically just exit the trade. I focus on something that has a better setup where this bounce may happen right away. Yeah, we're gonna make you do the same thing here. If we don't see this bounce happening fairly fast in our soybeans here, I was gonna exit this trade as well. I will not hang out there because then I lose confidence in this to happen. So we can look at the past year. That it happens very quickly. In the next 20 minutes, we want to see that bounce move to the upside. All right. Great. Let's see what time it is. It's 11 o'clock. We're going to stop this workshop today at around 11:15. The reason is I have another webinar at 12 o'clock today with the good folks from Metastock. And yeah, I believe that email was sent out to everyone this morning. If you guys want to join me at 12 p.m. where we're going to look at all our flagship indicators on Metastock. We're going to do a full round trip. We're going to look at Super Trend Bullseye on Metastock. We're going to look at 1 to 3 strike, divergence cloud, and volatility crusher. We're going to look at super sequence as well on Metastock. And the real cool thing in Metastock is that you can scan through thousands of symbols for interesting setups there. So join us. You should have an invitation in your inbox right now. Homa at least told me that she would send it out earlier this morning. So I believe this has been done. Okay, perfect. Yeah, nothing happening here on soybeans. It's a really slow symbol, so don't be discouraged by this. It's like watching paint dry when it comes to soybeans and also corn futures and so forth. I'm going to go back one more time to our list here. So these are kind of stalling out. We'll see if we see a bit of a bounce there. Natural gas. We had a nice zone break retrace set up here. Look at this bullish trend. We broke above resistance here, came back down to this resistance level, and then the move continued here. Now we're kind of stalling out. Here, oil is just chilling at these price levels after we came down. Gold pushing higher, silver pushing higher. And I bet you the correlation is still intact between these two symbols. If you go to our correlation matrix, we contrast gold, MGC, and silver down here. Yeah, 84 and 75. That's a big number. That is highly positively correlated. So as a rule of thumb, one more time, if we are above 50, it means we are directly correlated. If we are below minus 50, we are indirectly correlated. Let me just find a good example of something that's completely indirectly correlated. Here, micronatural gas, and we actually talked about this before, and Russell. For some reason, strange. Let's investigate this a little bit further since we're having a bit of time here as the markets are super. So let's open up these two symbols. Oh boy.
ZS coming down. Yeah.
And I'm gonna close that trade out. This is not a good sign when we lose this level. I don't like the fact that we are coming down here. It could have worked out. Yeah. Closing it out, it's fine. At a loss here. Too bad. But it could have been a nice reward to risk ratio on this trade. But as mentioned before, it's like catching a falling knife. All right. It happens. Okay, so what did I want to do? Oh, Russell and micronatural gas. So let's look at Russell. Russell is going down, absolutely. And let me just, for the fun of it, let me overlay micronatural gas on it. You can do this in TradingView by clicking on this plus sign here. And let's go to MNG. Okay, and we said they're indirectly correlated. Yeah, Russell going up, natural gas going down, natural gas going up, Russell going down. That's a sign of an indirect correlation. Absolutely. Okay, interesting. One thing I want to do real quick here for these two things, I can see it here very, where were we? Micronatural gas and Russell, yeah, right here. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's see how this holds up or doesn't hold up on the higher time frames. Maybe on the 4-hour time frame. So let's have this recalculate and see what is a more long-term relationship between these two symbols. If there's any, might be not. Maybe this is just a coincidence now that these two are correlated. And one thing you could do, by the way, is you could open up multiple charts on TradingView, each on different time frames, and then load the TI matrix on those time frames to see. And see, this just takes a little while to populate because this is an indicator which takes a little while to load. And if you look here, once this all fills in at this higher time frame, if we look at micronatural gas and the Russell, yeah, it's very different. So 6 indirectly correlate on the 4-hour, but then on the daily time frame, not correlate at all. So this seems to be like a short-term phenomenon. of some sort, or shorter term. So nothing which has been established for over years or something. So you can see this here, minus 66 on the 4 hour, which shows indirect correlation, but 12, which basically shows no correlation whatsoever on the higher time frame. Remember, STLT here, ST stands for short-term time frame, which is in this case the chart time frame, and LT, which is dynamically selected for you. You don't have any control over this. This is the higher time frame, probably the daily time frame, or the what do you think it is, Nicholas, for the 4 hours? Is it going to be the daily, the long-term time frame?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be
Okay.
the daily.
Yeah,
Or
perfect.
actually, you know what? No, it's going to be the
Oh, the 8
eight
hours?
hour. Yes, that's right.
Okay. But still, going twice as far out, there's no correlation whatsoever. Interesting. All right. So where were we? So we got stopped out of our soybeans trade. It's okay. It's it's something we took a shot on. Let me just go back quickly to take this one out. 2 hour soybean, just to have a look what's going on. Of course, I would be upset if now the bounce happens, but it's okay. It's do not chase it. I actually think this is a bearish setup here. We lost this level, and you know, I don't want to over trade here because this seems to me I'm kind of doing these fast decisions. But what you could do here, you could reason, all right, we lost this key level. This is a really an important level in soybeans. I'm going to short it here. I play the bounce again with a nice reward to risk, and I believe that soybeans will continue its bearish move downwards. You know what? This is typically not what I do, but since we're on a live trading workshop here, and one thing that's dangerous in trading, you don't want to revenge trade. So this could be like a kind of revenge. Okay, I didn't get it to the long side. Now I want to get it to the short side.
It does
Just
seem a bit dangerous. Yes.
yeah, it is a bit dangerous. So, but anyway, this is something that is out there. I'm probably not going to do it. I want to try to be disciplined here, but you could reason we lost the support level, and now we're going to go to the downside, even though that loss of support here was not sustained yet. This is a very minor move.
On the 15-minute too, I wonder, is it even a loss of support on the 15-minute? There might just be a liquidity capture forming now.
On the 50-minute reference time from you mean?
Yeah, actually, I'm checking on the 15-minute charts because there's going to be a larger
Oh, okay, let me just
zone
go
for
here.
like on the 15-minute, it's still within the zone and there's a liquidity capture. It's not as determined yet.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think if
exactly.
anything, I would wait, and I don't want to lose out on a good short here, but wait for some sort of pullback.
Well, that for sure is some sort of pullback, but yeah, I'm not gonna, uh, you know, do not revenge trade. I'm gonna discipline myself, even though I'd love to close out this trade with a nice winner. Uh, let's see what happens. I'm gonna wait a little bit on this symbol. Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. As I mentioned before, I need to leave for my Metastock webinar. I have to prepare a little bit for it, and I have to eat something too. I haven't had breakfast yet. But overall, I think it was an interesting trading day. We pretty much broke it. Even this is Canadian dollar, so we are in the vicinity. We had a nice trade, year-long trade, euro. Now a couple of small losers, but that's how it is sometimes, and the way I see it is, okay, today, we did the best we could. The worst thing you could do now is to force some trades just to make the situation, to force like a positive outcome. It's just not in the cards. That's fine too. Last week when we were here, overall the trading day ended us and for us for over $1,000 profit. Today, maybe broken even, more or less a small loss, and that's fine. We're just gonna move on, look at the next trading day to see what happens there. That typically is the best idea. So I don't want to force it because that's oftentimes a recipe for disaster. All right, perfect. So I'm going to have a quick look out of my self-interest on a symbol I'm currently long in is Sprouts Farmers Markets. So have a quick look how this one is doing today. I didn't check it out yet. It's good old Sprouts. It's chilling down there. Another somewhat of a bearish day. I was hoping for it to that's still okay. It's still right at support here at this key support level. If you set your liquidity IQ indicator to the chart time frame, you will see that Sprouts is at a key support level. It's a really bullish stock, which pulled back recently. So what I did is I I sold some puts. First strike was I think around 154. Prices are a bit lower now, but that's fine. Even if I get assigned, this is a stock which I don't mind owning afterwards. It's a cash secure put. Of course, you need to have enough money in your account to afford the stocks that will be assigned to you. But yeah, it's a nice symbol. So this is doing nothing. Okay, perfect. Yeah, right. So going back to my chart here and going to the 30-minute time frame. Let's do one more round trip of what we can see today. So I'm going to start with oil. So oil we had, there we go. Or we still have our limit order in place. So we may take this one out. Oil gains. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. I still like this one, this trade here. So I may leave this order in here. Maybe we're gonna get a fill off this bounce here to another push further up. So I'm gonna potentially keep this limit order in play even afterwards this session. I'll keep an eye on it. Maybe we're gonna get to the vicinity one more time. So these are, I believe, our only orders which we have right now. Yeah, that's the case. So 3 working order in oil. A quick look at our soybeans trade. Yeah, it's just chilling out there in this level. Okay, that's fine. What about Bitcoin? Trade we also had. MBT. Yeah, here we broke the range. I mean, this range trade here, we know this range will not go on forever. I was just playing the, the idea that, hey, maybe it's going to drag out for a bit longer, but eventually, of course, this would be broken. That was a fact. So too bad it happened on exactly that moment when we tried to do it. We also had the idea down here. We missed the entry, which would have worked out perfectly. We tried again up here and we lost it. One thing what we could have done is we could have looked at our long-term momentum. MA Rush was bullish. And, this is oftentimes not the best idea to go bearish against the bullish trend, which we did here. Lost out on it. But again, it's just a small loss. It was worth, in my case, it was worth the risk because our risk was very, limited. And David says, thanks for the session. Okay, David, David, you're welcome.
I was going to say, I really like Bitcoin here. If it does one of those rapid retraces downwards somewhere to like the near 115, I think I might take that personally for a long. Good reward to risk.
Near at this high volume node. It's not the zone of control, like somewhere down here.
No, because I don't think that's a deep enough retrace. I'd want it to like skip a couple of beats going into that low volume node and then try to enter in there, expecting that I could scale in more if it comes down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely interesting, especially since, and one more time back to our correlation matrix here. Where do we have it? Down here. Yeah, Bitcoin and MNQ. Wow, look at this. Highly correlated on the longer term, and it's the 4-hour. Actually, let me go back here to something more reasonable. Let's go to the 15. Okay. And Nicholas, maybe a good idea could be to actually write out somewhere as a label for a future version of the TI pairs indicator. What is the current time frame? What's the short-term time frame? What's the long-term time frame on the chart? That could be of interest, just to give more context.
Sure,
in a future version of this indicator. By the way, because the question came up yesterday quite a bit when we first released it, future updates are of course included, and this is lifetime access for this indicator. So, we just released it. We have already received some recommendations. In fact, we just posted a fix this morning. Maybe you've seen it on your notification if you already own the indicator. A quick fix which we just noticed this morning is if you use custom symbols, they are prefaced by the exchange, which makes these column names very big and long. So we remove the exchange from this label here just to make it more concise. So that's already published this morning. We're going to keep publishing small updates as we see them fit. Okay, so now you're in the 15-minute Bitcoin. Yeah, and you highly correlated. Look at this one, 84 and 86. So this the same thing as one leading the other. What is this one here? MNQ is leading MBT. Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good sign, Nicholas. If MNQ is pushing higher and Bitcoin is pulling back a little bit, that could be a nice sign of potentially going long Bitcoin. Let me quickly see what MNQ is doing here. So MNQ is pushing higher. It's the 50-minute time frame. And Bitcoin pulled back a little bit. If I remember. Yeah, small pull. Yeah. I mean, even now, or maybe a bit lower, this could be an interesting long entry Bitcoin. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Great. So one quick reminder, if you have interest in this indicator, TI pairs, I believe at a very reasonable price, or regular price of 347, today $100 off if you enter the discount code pairs 100. And guys, if you have any, just go back to the end of these slides here. Oops. If there was a question which was missed out today, we are sorry about this, but you can always email me afterwards via our homepage, tradingindicators.com. Click on support, then contact, put your question into the contact form, and it will get straight to my inbox. With this, guys, trade safe, watch out for your money, and see you at our next event, which will be this Saturday. This time from Germany. In fact, I'm going to be home in Germany, in Rostock. The Germans of you will know where this is, in the northern part of Germany. I'm going to take this webinar from Germany this Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, guys, have a great week. Trade safe. Bye-bye. Thanks, Niklas.